This guy is a lonely virgin loser who managed to date his crush. However, when the three baddies in school suddenly fall for his negative aura, he decides to lose his V card in the most epic way by smashing all four of them at once. The series begins with Mukai Naya, who is confused about what to do as he already has a girlfriend, but another girl confesses to him. Naya says he just started going out with Saki, whom he has been close with since they were kids. After school, Saki informs Naya that she'll be heading to her club, and he promises to wait for her. She tells him it's okay if he doesn't, but he shouldn't cheat on her. Naya asks if that's what she thinks of him and apologizes for making her worry. Naya suddenly hugs Saki and lets her know that he'll love her even more so she'll never have to worry. At this point, their classmates are staring, so Saki is embarrassed and tries to push off Naya, asking him to let her go, but Naya refuses, and Saki tells him to save it until they're alone. When he finally lets her go, Saki calls him weird and says that he can't take a joke, referring to what he just did, and Naya tells her he wants to be true to his feelings. He also tells her how happy he has been since she finally accepted to date him and promises to cherish her. As Saki is leaving, Naya calls her attention and compliments her look. She also, with the same energy, thanks him. Naya is alone when the door opens, and a girl walks up to him and confesses that she likes him. Realizing that she hasn't introduced herself, the girl introduces herself as Minace, a first-year student. Minace asks Naya what he thinks of her appearance, and he admits that she is really cute. Minace then tells him that she has been working hard on her appearance because she wanted to be in the best condition for the confession. Naya is impressed and appreciates her effort. Minace also tells him that she practiced cooking for 8 hours a day because she believes the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Naya expresses his concerns for her health and asks her to take care of herself. Minace assures him that she's fine and wants him to try the food. Once Naya tastes the food, he starts crying and tells her the food is delicious but she shouldn't risk her health. Minace says it's okay, that she had fun while doing it. She also tells him that the major ingredients that she bought with her part-time earnings are the reason it tastes good. Naya is overwhelmed but appreciates her. Minace uses that opportunity to ask him if she looks attractive to him, and Naya quickly admits that she finds her really attractive. Minace is relieved and proceeds to ask him to go out with her. Naya is surprised and remembers his girlfriend, Saki, but Minace thinks his reaction is because she's not good enough. Naya immediately lets her know that he'll be happy to go out with her, but he has a girlfriend. Minace is disappointed and says she should have expected it, but she's not going to give up because he turned her down, and she'll confess to him again. As she is leaving, Naya stops her and tells her that he'll love and cherish his girlfriend forever, but he also thinks she is attractive, so he wants her in his life. He tells her he's going to date both of them because he doesn't want to betray his girlfriend, so Minace should go with him to ask Saki. Minace is surprised but agrees to give it a try. After practice, Saki is tired, and Shino tells her she did a good job. Naya interrupts them and asks to speak with Saki, and Shino teases Saki and excuses herself. Saki asks Naya what the problem is, and he introduces her to Minace. Saki is really excited and impressed with Minace's beauty, so she suggests they hang out. Naya tells Saki that there's something important he wants to share with her, but Saki refuses and insists on getting to know Minace first. They go for karaoke and realize that Minace has a bad voice. On the way back, Minace apologizes, and Saki tells her she's cute when she's embarrassed. They also play sports, but Minace is not good at it and falls. Saki compliments her underwear. When Saki tastes Minace's food, she cries as well. Then Naya asks her what she thinks of Minace, and Saki responds that she would like to marry her. Naya agrees that he understands, but Saki reminds him that he has her. Naya then proposes dating both of them. Saki is confused, and Naya explains that Minace confessed to him earlier, and the more he got to know her, the more attractive she became, and he can't think of a better solution. Saki starts to get upset, but Naya continues that he would not like to date them in secret, so he wants to date them publicly. This angers Saki, and she punches Naya and then questions why he thinks she'll be okay with it. Naya tells Saki that he feels bad about it, and Saki tells him not to do it. She then asks if she's not good enough, and Naya responds that she was, until the previous day. Saki is about to hit Naya when Minace asks them to stop. Saki questions if Minace is okay with Naya dating two girls, and Minace explains that she knows Naya won't break up with Saki, so she'll get rejected if she's not okay with it. Saki asks to know what Minace likes about Naya, and she responds that he is everything to her, and then begs Saki to agree. Saki admits that Minace is too cute, but she still disagrees, saying it's one girl for one guy and it's common sense. Naya tells Saki that not going out with Minace because it's common sense would be dishonest both to him and Saki, and lying to them would leave him with regrets, so he wants to be honest with both of them. But Saki bluntly refuses. Naya doesn't give up and asks her what he can do to make her agree, and Saki tells him no means no. Naya tries tries to think of a way, but Saki refuses and they start arguing. Minace, who was quiet, starts begging Saki, telling her that she'll always cook for her. Naya also tells Saki that he'll take care of her and give her a monthly allowance. He also promises to do everything he can and tells her that he expects her to dump him, and he's sure Minace would prefer it that way. Naya then promises Saki and Minace that they'll be glad they dated him someday. Minace is touched and Saki reluctantly agrees. Saki asks what they're supposed to do next, and Naya says that Saki and Minace would have to get to know each other, so he suggests they start living together at his place. They're both surprised, but he assures them that he stays alone. Saki declines, but Minace agrees, and Naya tells Saki that he'll inform her mom. At Naya's house, Saki is still in disbelief, and Minace says it's like a dream. Naya offers to prepare rooms for them, and Minace offers to cook. They both expect Saki to also offer to do something, but Saki tells them that she's bad at chores, so Naya tells her to take a break. While Minace is cooking, Saki asks for a snack, but Minace tells her that dinner is ready. Saki comments that it smells nice. She's also really excited about the food and compliments the taste. Naya then informs Saki that her bath is ready too, and she thanks him. While Saki is enjoying her bath, Naya suddenly opens the door and asks if she wants a back rub, but Saki declines. Not long after, the door opens again, and Saki thinks it's still Naya but is surprised to see Minace, who asks to join her. Minace tells her that she'd like to talk to her, so Saki agrees, feeling awkward. Saki starts to admire Minace's body. Minace suddenly stops what she is doing and tells Saki that she can sleep with Naya for the night. Saki is embarrassed and tells Minace that they won't sleep together, and Minace asks why, thinking it's because of her, and says she won't want to get in their way. Saki informs her that they've never done it before. Minace is surprised and apologizes for thinking ahead of herself. Saki says it's fine, and Minace tells her that they can make out instead, but Saki also says that they've never done that too. Saki senses that Minace is happy but she denies it. Saki then tells her that it's not been long since they started going out, and that they've known each other since they were kids. Saki says there's no reason to rush and Minace agrees, saying they should work on it together. Saki agrees, but then suddenly rushes out calling Naya. She asks him how far he's willing to go with Minace, and he apologizes, admitting that he wants to. He also suggests a three-way. Saki is surprised and calls Naya a pervert. He apologizes, claiming the thought just came to his head and it wouldn't be fair to hide it. Saki tells him that being open about it is what makes him a pervert. She also says that Minace may be adorable and have a nice body, and admits that she even gets weird feelings as a woman, but that makes it even more unacceptable. Naya accepts and apologizes. He also says that he can't ask the same from Saki and that it's important for the three of them to have a good relationship rather than to sleep together, so he gives up on sleeping with both of them. Minace agrees, but Saki is disappointed, so she stops him and asks if that means he's not doing anything with her either. Naya agrees and says it would be unfaithful to Minace. He senses her disappointment and calls her out, but she denies it. He apologizes, saying that she must be curious, but Saki is embarrassed. Saki admits that she can't go through with the arrangement because there are many problems with Naya dating both of them. She is upset that her rival, Minace, is cute and irresistible. She questions why a girl like Minace had to ask Naya out. She remembers Naya admitting that he wants to sleep with both of them, and she calls him a pervert. Saki assumes that Minace must be sick of Naya because he's a freak, but Minace tells her that she doesn't mind, since it's something that Naya wants. Saki then says that Minace is really sussy and ends up confessing that she wants to be Minace's girlfriend. Minace is surprised, and Saki realizes what she just said and admits that she is completely losing it. Saki is afraid that Naya might lose interest in her if Minace seduces him. Upon entering the room, they're surprised to see that Naya set up their futons close together. When Saki asks why, Naya explains that he thought they might get closer if they talk in bed. Saki is uncomfortable, thinking that Naya wants to do something inappropriate with Minace. However, Naya assures her that he won't. Saki says that if she were in his place, she would have, and Naya suggests getting his part removed. Finally, Saki agrees. She suspects that Minace might make the first move, so she decides to watch them all night. Naya starts to thank Saki for putting up with his selfishness, but she pretends to be asleep. Minace suggests that Saki must be tired. Minace asks Naya if she can move closer to him, surprising Saki because she thinks Minace is already making a move. Naya assumes that Minace is feeling lonely, so he agrees. Minace is happy and tells him that sleeping with him feels like a dream, which Saki misunderstands. Minace tells Naya that she would like to get to know him better. Naya agrees and grabs her hand. However, Saki misunderstands Naya's actions. When Minace comments about Naya squeezing her hand, Saki mistakenly thinks that Naya is squeezing her breast. Naya apologizes and asks if she doesn't like it. Minace explains that he just startled her, but she's happy about it. Naya tells Saki that he wouldn't mind doing it forever. Saki is upset that Naya has not touched her yet, so she interrupts them and calls Naya an idiot, totally misunderstanding the situation. When she pulls off the sheet and realizes that nothing is going on, she is embarrassed. Naya questions her behavior, and she tries to cover up by saying she wants to sleep close to him, too. Naya then assumes that Saki is lonely too, so he agrees, but Minace knows that Saki has the wrong idea. Early the next morning, Minace begins cooking while Saki and Naya are still asleep. She expresses her happiness with the relationship and is grateful that she gets to be with Naya and live under the same roof. Minace is worried that her relationship with Naya won't last. She feels that if Saki changes her mind about her, Naya would break up with her. To try to make the relationship last longer, Minace decides to become Naya's favorite. Feeling uncertain about what to do, Minace sees Saki and Naya's phones and decides to go through them. She assumes that playing nice won't make the relationship last. Minace hopes to find out the kinds of girls Naya likes, but she's afraid he might have unusual tastes. So, she starts by looking through Saki's phone and gets her to unlock it. Minace believes that understanding Saki better will help her plans. Minace decides to check Saki's browser history and is shocked to find that most of Saki's searches are related to getting intimate. She immediately regrets looking. She discovers Saki's private account and reads her posts. Minace sees many angry posts about Naya's decision to date another girl, and a post about doing it. She also finds a post that Saki made about her. In the post, Saki calls her cute and says that even though she doesn't want to share a guy with Minace, Minace is a good girl, and she'd like to get close to her. While Minace is feeling happy, Naya calls her, startling her. Naya asks Minace what she is doing, and she nervously confesses that she was going through Saki's phone. Saki wakes up to both of them talking and asks what they're doing. She sees Minace with her phone, and Minace tries to explain, but Naya saves her by taking the blame. Saki remembers her search history and is embarrassed. She tries to explain to Naya that she was searching for a friend. Naya tells her that he doesn't care about what she may be into. He would accept her for whomever she is, and that he just wanted to know more about her. Saki gets upset and punches Naya, and Minace is worried about him and asks if he's okay. Saki heads back to sleep, saying she'll try and forget about it. Minace apologizes to Naya, and he tells her that it's fine, and he knows she did it because she was worried about him dating two girls. During breakfast, Saki compliments Minace's cooking and asks about her class. They soon realize that they are all in the same class. Naya and Saki are surprised because they have never seen Minace in class before. When Minace explains that she wanted to spend time practicing her cooking to impress Naya, both Naya and Saki are taken aback. Naya disapproves of Minace's actions and expresses concern for her well-being. He tells her that she has sacrificed too much and he worries for her. This makes Minace realize that Naya is right and she fears that he may think less of her. In an attempt to impress Naya, Minace offers him a snack, but Naya declines and tells her that they are going to spend the day studying together. Despite her fear of being a bad student, Naya assures Minace that he will not let her fall behind. He also includes Saki, who tries to sneak off in their study plans. Minace doesn't want Naya to lose faith in her, so she agrees to start learning with him and Saki also agrees. Naya gives them an exercise to do. Saki finds it easy, finishes solving it, and Naya confirms that it is correct. He then asks Minace if she's done with hers, but she doesn't know how to begin. When Saki asks if she can't do it, Minace lies that she needs to use the bathroom. Minace is worried that Naya will think she's stupid and will lose faith in her, so she decides to check the answer online and ends up staying in the bathroom for 30 minutes. Saki and Naya are concerned about her, so they go up to the bathroom and knock, asking if she's sick. This is when Minace realizes that she's been in the bathroom for a while. She agrees that she is and Naya wants to call an ambulance, but she says she's fine. Naya is confused and tells her that she has been in there for a long time, and Saki scolds Naya for being insensitive. Minace tries to find a way out of the situation without making Naya think she's stupid. She comes up with a lie, saying she's really backed up. Saki blames Naya, and he apologizes, but Minace says it's okay, and they leave. Minace feels that she has been able to protect her reputation, but she has lost something else. She goes back to checking the answers online, saying she'll redeem herself that way. She admits that she wants to look good in Naya's eyes to make him like her a little more and stay with her forever. After finding the answer, Minace goes back, and Naya apologizes again. She tries solving the question and confidently shows her answer, but Naya tells her she's wrong, and she's embarrassed. Naya tells her not to worry because everyone is bad at something, but he'll stick with her for as long as it takes. Minace is touched but still embarrassed, so she rushes off to the bathroom again. Before leaving for school, Saki tells them that they can't let anyone know about their relationship, so they should act as strangers. Naya disagrees, saying he won't leave Minace by herself after she missed so much of school, and they have done nothing wrong. Saki hits him and lets him know that it's because of their bad reputation. She then asks Minace if she understands, and Minace says she doesn't have any friends that she would tell, making them pity her. Saki tells Naya that if he wants to keep dating them, he has to keep it a secret, and Minace agrees. Everyone is curious about Minace but also calls her cute. A girl asks Shino if she knows Minace, and she guesses that she was absent all the while, and they wonder why. Saki feels bad for Minace, but she knows that everyone is aware of her relationship with Naya, so she doesn't want to risk it. Naya thinks that Minace is going to be alone forever, so he decides to talk to her. Minace is shocked to see him, and he introduces himself, so she introduces herself back. Realizing he can't keep up the act, Naoya decides to expose their relationship. Before he can say everything, Saki punches him and sends him flying. He tells her not to stop him and tries to talk again, but she hits him again and keeps hitting him, then drags his weak body out of the classroom. On the roof, Saki scolds Naoya for trying to expose them. Naoya tells her that he doesn't want Menes to feel sad. Saki agrees with him but expresses her concern about people finding out that he's dating another girl. She worries that others will think he doesn't care about her. Naoya reassures Saki that he still loves her and believes people would understand once he explains the situation. Saki is about to hit him when Menes intervenes. She tells them that she'll be okay and that she's happy to live together. Menes then explains that she woke up early to prepare their lunch but won't be able to eat with them. She suggests they eat together and give her feedback at home. Both Saki and Naoya feel bad for her. She adds that she'll eat in the restroom to avoid others finding out that they're eating the same food. Saki and Naoya start crying, and Saki apologizes for acting selfishly by pretending they're strangers. Naoya takes the opportunity to ask if he can tell people about them, but Saki disagrees and suggests they hang out in secret instead. Saki suggests that they shouldn't act like strangers anymore, and Naoya agrees. He says that the roof is always crowded during lunch, so they should quietly eat up there so no one would notice them. Menes feels that they're doing too much for her and says that she's already happy with Naoya dating her, and it would be too much to expect to have fun together at school. Saki disagrees, and some girls hear her, so she carefully asks Menes if she didn't make lunch because she wanted to eat with them. Naoya is touched that Menes is too modest, and Saki hits him to be quiet. Menes agrees that eating together would make her happy, so Saki and Naoya agree that they can eat together, but a teacher overhears them and asks them to leave. They decide to find another place to have lunch, and Menes blames herself for making lunch without asking. Saki and Naoya assure her that it's fine. Naoya asks for suggestions, and Menes says that she knows a quiet place in school because she spent a lot of time alone in middle school, and they both feel sorry for her. She takes them to the schoolyard restroom, but Saki is uncomfortable because it stinks and says she can't eat there. Menes tells her that the cleaners don't come there often, so no one uses it during lunch. Saki disagrees and asks for another place, so Menes takes them behind the restroom. Saki is still uncomfortable because of the smell, and Menes says she assumed it would be less dirty, but Saki sees a bug and is scared. Naoya asks for another place that doesn't smell, and Menes takes them to a cleaner restroom. Saki complains, and Menes tells her that it doesn't smell, but Saki is still not comfortable. Saki then realizes that Naoya is with them, so she pushes him out, telling him not to be in a female restroom. Menes tells them to be careful so no one will see them, but as they step out, two girls see them and turn away, whispering to themselves, and Saki tries to tell them that it's a misunderstanding. Saki asks if there's a place they can go other than the restroom, but Menes tells her there isn't. Naoya suggests using the gym storage room, but Menes says there are more people there than in the restrooms. Saki reassures her that people don't go there during lunch, but Menes still prefers the restroom because she doesn't want people to find out about their relationship due to her selfishness. Naoya consoles her, saying she's not being selfish, and even if she is, it's okay. He suggests they check if they can use the storage room, and if they can't, they'll figure something out. When they get to the door, it's locked. Naoya tries to break the lock with his fists, but it doesn't work. Saki then informs them that the window is unlocked. Naoya lets Menes climb on him to check the condition of the room, and when he looks up to ask about it, Saki hits him, thinking he is trying to see under Menes' skirt. They finally manage to get in and move things around to create a hiding spot in case someone walks in. After finding a spot, Naoya assures Menes that even though they'll face a lot of problems in the relationship, he'll work hard to solve them so that she won't have any regrets. He also expresses his happiness to be with her. Menes thanks them for letting her eat with them. Saki and Naoya compliment the food and Menes is glad they like it. Saki says the situation is weird but Menes responds that it's fun to her and she'll like to do it often. Saki shows excitement with every food Menes makes, and when she praises her, Menes says that she wants to make Naoya happy, and he responds that he feels the same. Menes then asks Naoya if there's anything he wants her to do, but Naoya tells her that she's already done a lot. Menes tells him that she's ready to do any kind of job if it's money he wants. Saki imagines the kind of work Menes means, but Naoya tells Menes that he'll rather take the most difficult job. Saki asks them to stop, and Naoya assumes Saki feels left out, so he apologizes and promises to tell her what he likes about her every day. Menes calls Saki lucky, and Naoya promises to tell Menes too. Saki comments that Menes must like Naoya to want to work so hard for him. Menes asks Saki if she doesn't, and Saki agrees that she's doing a decent amount for Naoya. She then realizes that she hasn't been doing anything and feels that Naoya would fall more in love with Menes, who has a nice body and does a lot for him, compared to her, who does nothing. Feeling scared, Saki leaves, saying she has to keep up with Menes. She texts Shino to let her know that she'll skip the club meeting. Saki thinks of what to do for Naoya but can't come up with anything that isn't related to intimacy. She decides to ask Naoya if there's anything he'd like her to do, but he declines and asks her back, and she declines as well. Naoya then offers to buy her cake, to which she agrees. Saki enjoys the cake, and Naoya makes her some tea too. Saki thanks him, then realizes herself and goes to buy some groceries to compete against Menes and make something fancy. However, she sees a pack of gummies and gets carried away. Saki realizes that she forgot to buy the cooking ingredients when she gets home, so she does and starts cooking, assuming that she just has to chop and toss things into the pot, and then decides to wait it out by watching a show. However, she completely forgets about the food until the burnt smell reminds her, and she discovers that the food is burnt. When she serves the burnt curry, Naoya tries to make her feel better by saying that burnt curry is good, and Minace agrees. Saki fears that she is a bad girlfriend and worries that Naoya may choose Minace over her. Feeling out of options, she tries to seduce Naoya. Naoya wakes up to find Saki on top of him, confused. She tells him that she is ready, but Naoya reminds her that they promised to wait. Saki says she'll keep it a secret from Minace. Saki then places Naoya's hand on her breast, thinking he won't be able to resist her, but Naoya still refuses and says it would be unfair to Minace. Instead, he offers to listen to whatever is bothering her. Saki is disappointed and questions if it's because of her size, assuming that Naoya will prefer Minace instead. Saki leaves to her room crying, and Naoya follows her, begging. She pushes past him and leaves for her house next door. Naoya sees a message Saki left to inform him that she's going back home. Minace overhears their argument and comes out. She asks Naoya what happened, and he explains everything to her. Minace realizes that she's left alone with Naoya, and imagines that it could be the beginning of their life together. However, Naoya apologizes and assures her that he'll make up with Saki the next day since she's not replying to his texts, and it's late. Minace takes her chance and asks Naoya if there's anything she can do, but he thanks her and tells her that he's not going to sleep until they make up. Naoya then decides to write Saki a love letter. The next day, Naoya calls out to Saki and asks for a chance to talk. He tells her that he wrote love letters to her and throws it to her, but she throws it back, saying she's not interested and yelling at him when he starts reading it to her. Minace is worried about Naoya, but he tells her he's not done yet. Naoya tells Saki that he'll buy the game she loves using his savings, and if she talks to him, he'll give her access to the account. He starts making purchases but doesn't win, so Saki is not impressed and leaves. Seeing that it didn't work, he buys cake from some popular shops, and Saki is tempted but refuses. The next day, Naoya tries again, this time promising to give her a ton of cute cat and dog videos. Saki gets excited but tells him that she can find them online. Naoya is tired but won't give up. He offers Saki his organized notes, but she tells him that she's not interested and leaves. Minace asks him to take a break. The next day, Minace is worried since Naoya hasn't slept for 3 days and can barely stand. Saki tells him to have fun with Minace, and he figures that Saki is worried about her breast size, so he tells her that it does matter and his private account has all sizes, but Saki finds it gross. Minace pleads with Naoya to take a break so he won't collapse, but he assures her that he is okay. She questions if she's not good enough and promises to make everyday fun even without Saki. Naoya tells her that he is honored, but he decides that if he's to go out with both of them, he won't give up on either of them. Minace recalls that this is what she liked about Naoya, so she comes up with an idea. Minace gets Saki's attention and then places Naoya's hand on her chest. Naoya is surprised, and Saki, who is upset, jumps over to them. Minace is glad her plan worked and asks them to talk. Then Saki realizes she has been played, but it's too late. Naoya asks Saki why she left, and she confesses that she feels Minace is better than her because she does a lot for Naoya, and she can't do anything for him. She tells him that he'll be happy with just Minace soon and tries to leave, but Naoya holds her back and tells her that all she said is not true, and Minace disagrees. Naoya tells Saki that he is happy just being with her. Saki says he should tell her what to do, but he responds that she's good enough. Saki calls him an idiot and hits him. Saki remembers Naoya saying he doesn't want anything from her but goes ahead to do a lot for her and is sad. She asks Naoya why he won't ask anything of her, and Naoya tells her that there's a lot he wants from her but feels like he doesn't deserve to ask because he needs to do his best for them first. Minace tells Naoya that she understands Saki because he always tells her that she has done enough and she wants to devote 18 hours of her day to him, but Saki thinks that's too much. Saki also says that she appreciates all that Naoya has done for her but she wants to make him happy too. They both admit to being his girlfriend and say he should not take the responsibility alone. Naoya confesses that he thought he couldn't be happy until he made both of them happy because he is too timing. He apologizes and asks them to hit him and Saki does. Naoya tells Saki that that is one of the reasons he likes her and it's why she's fun to be around. Saki is surprised, and Naoya tells her all the things he wants her to do, which she agrees to. He also includes a three-way but Saki disagrees. He then says that most of all, he wants them to continue living together. Saki gives it a thought and then agrees but still makes it clear that Minace is her rival, and Minace agrees, saying she's going to put up a fight. Minace prepares dinner and tells Saki that she worked so hard on the food to celebrate her return. Saki is worried that Naoya is not joining them and Minace tells her that he stayed up to make up with her. Saki compliments the food and tells Minace that she's still her rival. However, Minace expresses her desire to be friends with Saki and admits that she likes her. Saki agrees and suggests playing a game together. Although Minace lies about having played the game before, she agrees to play with Saki. During the game, Minace fails multiple times and apologizes, but Saki reassures her and encourages her to keep playing. Despite Minace's continued failures, Saki becomes upset and criticizes Minace, who apologizes for not meeting Saki's expectations. Feeling that playing with her together is not enjoyable. Minace expresses her concerns to Saki. However, Saki comforts her and takes the lead in the game. Saki then promises that they won't go to sleep until she helps Minace achieve a victory, leaving Minace worried that they won't be able to sleep at all. Saki tries to help Minace, but she still keeps failing. Minace then compliments Saki for being good at the game and assumes that she must be having fun. Saki jokes that she's happy to be better at something than Minace. Saki sees an opportunity and decides to teach Minace to aim and shoot, but Minace ends up shooting Saki instead. Saki pretends to be upset at Minace and Minace tries to apologize. Saki finds the situation funny, and when Minace apologizes again, Saki takes a picture of her and then tells Minace that she had fun. This surprises Minace. Saki tells Minace that she thought Minace was perfect, but she has realized that she's clumsy. Naoya comes to find them playing, and Saki tells him that Minace is her cute rival. Saki suggests Minace should add her as a friend, and Minace agrees. Naoya is happy to see them getting along. Minace promises Saki that she would improve by watching some Medoob videos, and Saki asks to watch too. Minace shows her the video, but Saki says she doesn't like the streamer because she uses her breasts as clickbait. Saki comments on the thumbnail, and Naoya points out their school uniform in the background. During lunch in school, Saki asks if they can play the game again when they get home, and Minace agrees, telling Saki that she has been practicing. Minace notices that the video thumbnail has been changed, confirming their suspicions. Saki mentions that anyone who has something to hide should be like them, as the door is always locked, and she's careful enough to always lock the window, which is the only way in. Just then, the window opens, and Saki realizes that she forgot to lock it. Milika is surprised as well, so they try to come up with an excuse. She assumes that they are doing something sneaky, and they deny it, but she doesn't believe them. Naoya confesses that he may be too timing, but he insists that he doesn't do anything inappropriate. Saki hits him to make him stop talking, but Milika already hears him and asks if they're all dating. They try to come up with a lie, but Naoya eventually accepts defeat. Saki starts to beg Milika to keep it a secret, but she finds their reaction funny. Minace tries to say something, but Naoya interrupts and offers Milika money, which he claims is his life-saving to keep her quiet. However, Milika tells him that she makes more than that every month. Naoya wonders how a high school student can make that much and assumes that she's into something bad. He tries to talk her out of it by warning that she may get betrayed and everything could turn out badly for her. Milika mocks Naoya for his thoughts and denies them. Naoya then questions Milika's actions, but she reminds him of his own situation. Finally, Minace gets their attention and tells Milika that she knows she's a Medoober and that the money she's referring to is from her videos. Milika is surprised that she got caught and tries to deny it, but Minace shows her a screenshot of her thumbnail that has her uniform in the background. Milika argues that she deleted the thumbnail but then realizes that she has just exposed herself. Saki tells Milika that they're now in the same boat and Milika threatens her. Saki teases Milika, but then apologizes when Milika seems angry, saying she took it too far and they're even now. Saki promises not to tell anyone, and Naoya says that even if Milika exposes them, he'll take her secret to the grave. Milika then informs them that she has made her decision. She's going to be Naoya's girlfriend, shocking everyone. Saki asks what Milika is trying to achieve, and Minace suggests that Milika probably needs a man to protect her from creepy stalkers now that her identity is exposed. Milika denies it and questions why she would need someone to protect her. She tells them that she just feels it's time she gets a boyfriend. Minace and Saki do not believe her, but Naoya does. Milika points out her great features and tells Naoya that he'll never come across many girls as pretty as she is. Naoya agrees with her and says that she's pretty, surprising Saki and Minace. He also says that he has watched a few of her videos and it would be a dream if someone like her is his girlfriend. Milika is pleased, but Naoya then turns her down. Saki hugs Naoya, happy with his decision. Milika is shocked that Naoya rejected her, and Naoya tells her he's sure she'll find a boyfriend in no time. Milika gets upset and tells Naoya that she's prettier than his two girlfriends. Naoya asks her if that's how she chooses who to date. He tells her that he wants to make his girlfriends happy. Milika tells Naoya that he'll be an idiot to reject her, but Naoya still rejects her. Saki tells Milika that Naoya is already satisfied with the both of them. Milika then resorts to removing her jacket to show off her breasts. She tells Naoya that he'll have a chance to touch them once they start dating, but Naoya still refuses her. Feeling desperate, Milika tells him he can touch them, but Naoya informs her that he's only interested in his girlfriend. Milika can't believe that Naoya is not impressed. She feels embarrassed and defeated. They all ignore her and make to leave. Saki asks what they should have for dinner, and Milika figures they're living together and tries to ask them about it, but they completely ignore her. Saki and Minace are outside the storage room when Milika shouts, asking if they all stay together. They realize they've been exposed, so they plan to run and ask Naoya to come down quickly, but Milika is faster and pushes him. Milika comes down too and tells them that she has decided to live with them too, and she'll make him see what makes her special. She offers to pay for rent and and other bills, but Naya tells her that he supports a man and woman staying together if they're not in a relationship. Milika is upset and asks Naya why he's so proper when he's two-timing. Milika then leaves, promising to be back, and they suddenly realize that they have not finished their lunch. The next day after school, they get back home to see a tent in their yard. Milika reveals herself and tells them that she'll stay in the yard instead since she's not allowed inside. Naya is impressed that she came up with a solution. Menes asks Milika how she knows their address, and Milika confesses to having secretly followed them from school, but Menes tells her that that is stalking. Milika ignores her and says that she'll make them regret humiliating her. She also promises to make Naya like her. Naya wonders what to do with Milika. Menes tells him that she's not going to last living in a tent, and Naya agrees. He warns Milika about the cold night, but Milika says he shouldn't underestimate her. Just as Milika said, the night is cold and she feels she'll freeze to death. She sees a bug and runs out. Naya tells Milika to quit putting herself in danger and go home, but Milika is determined to stay until he likes her. Naya lets her know that he cares about his girlfriends, but Milika feels that everyone is mocking her. She orders a more comfortable and warmer sleeping bag and is determined to kill every bug and shop for every other necessary item. Milika decides to shoot a video so she won't run out of money. She starts recording and says her goal is to survive the cold without a shirt. She starts shivering, and Naya asks why she's not covering herself. She responds that it's her cleavage that earns the clicks. Milika starts exercising to overcome the cold. She makes sure her chest is in view in every shot. However, she decides to take a break but realizes that it gets worse when she stops. Despite wanting to give up, she pictures Saki, Menes, and Naya laughing at her, which makes her determined to keep going. During her exercise, Milika takes snack breaks and continues. After what feels like an eternity, it's finally morning. Milika is happy to have survived and is even happier when she hears the delivery man. Milika asks Naya what he thinks of her effort, but he instead tells her to go home and take a shower. Saki agrees, mentioning that she smells bad. Milika confirms the smell but decides to search for an alternative way to shower. She finally finds it and follows the instructions by filling a bag with water and leaving it under the sun for 2 hours. She then sets up a rope to suspend the bag and creates holes in it, successfully creating her own shower. After getting dressed, she asks Naya if he is impressed yet, and he finally appreciates her effort, which pleases Milika. Menes and Saki try to figure out a way to get rid of Milika. Menes compliments Milika's figure and strength, and Saki gets an idea which she whispers to Menes, but Menes seems uncomfortable with it. Saki tries to convince Menes by asking her if she would like Milika to take Naya from them, so Menes finally agrees. While Naya is having his bath, he also tries to come up with a way to get rid of Milika so that his girlfriends would be happy. His thoughts are interrupted by a voice from outside the bathroom, and he recognizes it as Saki and Menes. Naya asks what's wrong, and Saki tells him that they have figured out what to do about Milika. Suddenly, they open the door, and Naya is shocked to see them in their swimsuits. Menes becomes embarrassed, and Saki tells her they have to achieve their goal. Naya questions why they are in their swimsuits, and Saki confesses that they had to act before Milika takes him away. She also says that she assumed he would like to see them in their swimsuits, but Naya disagrees. Saki is upset and pulls his cheeks, asking if he's disappointed. Naya finds it difficult to explain himself. Menes decides to stop Saki but ends up slipping and hitting Naya with her breast. She moves away quickly and apologizes but also says she'll be happy if he appreciates it. Naya is surprised that Menes feels that way too. Saki praises Menes for coming up with such a great idea. Menes tells her it was accidental, and Saki tries to do it too, but hers is too small. Saki's swimsuit ends up slipping, but she catches it before it falls. She asks if Naya saw anything and is upset that she gave away too much, but consoles herself that Naya would be obsessed with her. Naya tells them to focus on finding a solution to Milika. Menes confesses that Saki came up with the swimsuit idea, and even though she was against the idea, she decided to go through with it because she thinks it's important to spend a lot of time with him so that he'll like them more. Menes tells Naya that she is really happy that she got to go out with him, so she's willing to do everything she can to make it last. She also lets him know that there are a lot of important things, but they can't let their guard down when it comes to Milika, which is why she wants Naya to also look out for them. Naya realizes that Menes is right, so he agrees and suddenly starts staring at Menes' body. Menes gets embarrassed and calls him a pervert. Meanwhile, Milika is finally able to get some sleep. They find Milika cooking, and Menes realizes that Milika has become accustomed to tent life. Naya says he needs to do something about it. When Milika sees Naya, she offers him meat, but he ignores her and tells her to go home. Milika makes it clear that she's not leaving until Naya likes her. Naya tells her that he's already involved with 2 people and cannot become involved with a third. Naya asks Milika to understand that he will not be able to return her feelings, but she tells him that she won't go home after being rejected by someone like him. Milika threatens to throw hot coals on Naya if he touches her tent, so Menes asks Naya to back off. Saki knows that Milika is stubborn, and Naya assures her that he'll make sure Milika leaves soon. Menes advises Naya against forcing her, saying that they'll be able to convince her over time. Saki agrees and tells Naya that they have no idea what Milika might do if they force her out. She also assures him that they'll get rid of her slowly. They notice Milika crawling away. Saki assumes assumes that she wants to use the restroom at the nearby convenience store. Naya takes that opportunity to call a pawn shop for a pickup to get rid of her things. Minace and Saki are against the idea, so Saki stops him. Naya questions if she's okay with him dating 3 girls, and she disagrees. Naya tells her they have to get rid of Milika, and Minace asks him to calm down. Naya asks her if she's not worried that he might fall in love with Milika, and Saki reminds him that he rejected Milika when she asked him to date her. Naya reminds them that he's a 2-timer and he'd be worried if he was in their shoes. Minace agrees but says she's only a bit worried and lets her know that's why they have to hurry. Saki stops him from getting the phone, and Minace reminds him that even though it's a short time since they got together, she has seen his efforts and how serious he is with them. So they believe and trust that he's not going to be interested in Milika, and hence they're not worried. Naya becomes emotional and thanks his girlfriends for being understanding. Minace advises that they take their time in dealing with Milika. Naya then expresses his lack of confidence in not falling for Milika. Minace and Saki are left speechless. Saki approaches Naya, grabs his hand, and throws him to the ground. Naya reminds Saki that he once promised to cherish her but ended up dating Minace instead. He acknowledges his own weakness and vows to keep that in mind moving forward. He begins listing Milika's good qualities and expresses concern that if she sticks around, he might end up liking her. Therefore, he is determined to send her away and work hard to make his girlfriends happy. Saki calls Naya's attention, approaches him, and then hits him. She tells him that she is grateful he told her about his feelings before falling for Milika. Saki and Minace agree with Naya to send Milika away, and Naya thanks them. The pawn shop informs Naya that they'll arrive soon, so Minace and Saki offer to pack up Milika's things while Naya offers to distract Milika. Naya meets Milika on the way back from the convenience store and asks to talk to her, but Milika refuses and assumes he wants to ask her to go home. Milika walks past him and says that she has to come up with ways to get him to like her, and Naya follows behind trying to convince her to talk to him until he finally overtakes her and tries to ask about her parents, and Milika senses that he must be trying to hide something, but Naya tries to deny it and she doesn't buy it, so she distracts him and runs off. Milika arrives to see Saki and Minace loading off her properties, and she is upset when Naya finally arrives. Saki scolds him for letting Milika escape. Milika tries to offload her belongings, but Naya holds her back and urges Minace and Saki to be quick. Milika keeps hitting Naya to let her go, but he refuses. Milika gets an idea and starts screaming to get the attention of the neighbors, saying that she's being assaulted. The neighbors become interested and recognize Naya. Milika is happy that her plan is successful. She tells Naya that all the neighbors would assume he's a pervert and he'll become an outcast, but he tells her that if he was worried about that, then he wouldn't be 2-timing. The neighbors hear him, and Saki scolds Naya. The neighbor asks Saki to confirm it, but Saki lies. Milika then steps on Naya and asks if he knows how much her tents cost. Naya is in pain and lets go of her, but as she tries to leave, he grabs her leg, making her fall. Naya offers to pay for it. Milika lies, saying that it cost 1,000,000 yen, hoping Naya would back off. However, he agrees to pay it, promising to work hard and pay the money. In return, he asks her to stay away from him. The man in charge tells them they're done loading up and hands Milika the payment. Naya asks her to take it. Saki is happy that they've been able to get rid of Milika's things, but Milika is upset that they would go that far. She calls him a 2-timing loser, and he accepts. He tells her that he couldn't choose between Saki and Minace, which is why he has vowed to make them both happy. He says he'll do anything for his girlfriends, and Milika's heart starts racing. Saki and Minace promise to help Naya raise the money. Milika questions whether Naya is really a loser. Naya showed Milika an agreement he prepared, and Saki tells her to stop following them because they have promised to pay her. Milika tears up the paper and drags Naya away, telling them that she's never going home. They are all surprised, and when Saki asks why, Milika tells her it's not her problem. Naya says that it'll be a problem for him because she's staying at his house, and Milika tells him to shut up. She said she doesn't like that they're paying her to stay away from them. Milika hears her father call out to her and is surprised to see him, and so is everyone. Milika asks how he knows her location, and he tells her that he asked around in school. He questions what she is doing there, not at home, and she tells him she is staying with Naya. She has her reasons. Milika's father asks to confirm that Naya is not her boyfriend, and Naya confirms he is not and proudly tells him that he has 2 girlfriends he deeply cares about and he is 2-timing. Saki scolds him for saying it. Milika's dad questions if Milika fell in love with a 2-timer and is staying at his place. Milika tells him that she doesn't like Naya, but she wouldn't mind trying it if he begs her, and Naya says he won't. Saki tells Minace that she thinks Milika has secretly fallen for Naya, and Minace thinks so too. They agree that it would be bad if she happens to like him, so they decide to tell Naya to make Milika go home, and he agrees. As Milika's father is scolding her, Naya interrupts them and asks them to leave. Milika's dad goes off on Naya, asking if Naya doesn't find his daughter attractive. He tells him that he raised her as best as he could as a single father. Naya tells him that Milika is attractive, surprising Saki and Minace. He also says that he admires her determination as well. He also tells him about Milika's Medu achievement. Saki is worried that Milika would fall more for Naya. Milika's father is confused about the Medu, so he searches for her and realizes the type of content Milika has and is not happy about it. He scolds her for revealing her breasts, and Milika tells him that that is why she hides it from him. Saki and Minace are happy and expect Milika's father to take her home, but Naoya cuts in and defends Milika. He highlights Milika's creativity and dedication and calls her a true entertainer. Saki stops him from praising Milika further. Milika is relieved, but her father tells her she has to explain the videos and sleeping out when they get home and drags her away. Milika resists and hits her dad away, and Saki thinks she's really stubborn. Milika tells her dad that the video and Naoya are the only things that she's double for herself and no one can tell her what to do. Milika's father expresses worry for his daughter but tells her that if she won't stop her selfishness, he has no choice. He grabs her phone with the intentions to delete her channel. Milika is devastated and begs, but he doesn't care. He's about to confirm the action when Naoya stops him despite Saki's warning call. He hands it back to Milika and tells the father that G has no idea how much work it takes for a high schooler to have a lot of subscribers and that she puts in incredible efforts, which makes her amazing. Saki and Minace are scared for their relationship and Milika's father tries to attack Naoya, but Naoya stops him and says that it's Milika's choice to post her videos and he caused her trouble by selling her camping gear, but deleting her videos would be too much. Saki and Minace tries to stop Naoya from doing anything that may make Milika like him, but it's too late, and Naoya tells her father that he'll protect her going forward, making Milika like him more. Saki informs Naoya what he just did, but he doesn't have an idea. Milika tells them she has something to think about, so he'll go home for the time being, and then tells her father that she'll disown him the next time he tries to delete her videos. Milika and her father leave, but Milika looks back and says goodbye to Naoya, leaving Saki and Minace wondering how ugly things will get when Milika gets in the picture. Saki and Minace realize that Milika is in love with Naoya, but it doesn't seem like Naoya has noticed. Minace is worried that Naoya might accept Milika if she confesses to him. Saki says they have to do what they can, but they have no idea what to do. Saki leaves to go home briefly. She is annoyed by Milika, and also Minace, who is really devoted to Naoya too. She doesn't know what she can do. At home, Saki informs her mom that she just came to pick up some clothes. Her mom asks her about her relationship with Naoya, to which she replies that it's not bad. Her mom begins to tease her about doing it with Naoya, but soon realizes that they haven't done it. This surprises her and she questions if Naoya has no sex drive. Saki's mom wonders how Naoya could possibly hold back when he's living with such a cute girl. Saki remembers that there have been a lot of tempting situations, but Naoya is too rational. She panics as she thinks she's going to spend her whole life like that. Her mom comforts her, assuring her that her cuteness can awaken the man within him. Saki resolves to keep fighting. At Naoya's place, Saki calls to Naoya from outside the door. She asks if Minace has gone to bed and is satisfied when he confirms that she has. She slowly walks into the house. Naoya's jaw drops as he takes in her full outfit. Saki is dressed in a bunny girl outfit. He questions the outfit and Saki coyly asks what's wrong with it, adding if he's turned on. Naoya says he's flustered instead. Saki is surprised and wonders if it isn't as good as she thought, adding that her mom said it'd work for sure. Naoya is surprised at her mom. Saki asks if she is not cute. He replies that she's cute as hell. She's excited and asks if he likes bunny girl outfits, to which he affirms after taking another look. She probes further, asking if he doesn't feel like pushing her down. Naoya is flustered and says he wouldn't do that. She accuses him of dead desire, but he reminds her that they promised they wouldn't do that stuff. Saki insists, saying that despite the promise, if there was a cute bunny girl in front of her, she'd definitely do her. Naoya is surprised and asks if she likes guys who break promises. She says that's not the point and pushes him to the ground. She does not like that he's keeping the promise like it's the only thing to do. She orders him to get aroused and just barely hold back. Naoya notices the cloth dropping from her breast and holds it in place. Saki misunderstands his action and hits him across the face. She says she told him to hold back and calls him a perv. He questions why she looks happy, but she just gets up and leaves, calling him a perv getting turned on by a bunny girl. He decides to let it be, as long as she's happy. Meanwhile, Saki begins searching for her next outfit. During breakfast, Saki is bubbly and Minace does not understand why. Saki offers to help her do the dishes after, but she politely refuses. She asks if anything good happened, to which Saki giggles and replies that it's not a big deal. Saki steps out for a little stroll and Minace goes to do the laundry. She's still wondering if something happened the previous night. Her thoughts are interrupted when she sees Saki's costume in the laundry basket. Minace confronts Naoya with the outfit. He denies that anything special happened but says that the bunny outfit was excellent. It was cute and enticing. Minace asks if he called Saki cute a lot, and he replies that he did with all his heart. She gets even more annoyed and asks if he likes cosplay. He says he doesn't have enough experience to say, but it's possible. She leaves and returns with her outfit, a maid costume. He questions why she has that and she defends that it was an impulse buy. She couldn't decide what to bring to his place, so she bought it. She asks for his thoughts on it, and he asks her to try calling him master. She does, and Naoya is literally blown away by how adorable she is. She makes him tea, gives him a massage, and offers to watch over him from nearby. Naoya loves her cuteness, and Minace is pleased. She offers to do anything for him. He questions if she really means anything, and she's flustered but says she's prepared. He says he wants her to be his maid once a week. He adds that she's such a cute maid and it would kill him if that was the only time. Minace is happy. She asks him to pat her head and he does. She's excited and calls him him master, he calls her maid Minace. During dinner, Minace is bubbly. Saki does not notice as she is still in a good mood and so concentrative on her food or thoughts. Minace asks if Naoya wants seconds, referring to him as master. He agrees and she goes to get it. Minace realizes her mistake just as Saki realizes what she heard. However, she dismisses it as just hearing things. Minace is relieved. In school the next day, Milika is standing outside Naoya's class. Some boys are admiring her, but she's occupied with thoughts of how Naoya saved her from her dad. She forcefully refuses to be in love with him, a two-timer. Saki sees her and questions why she's there. Milika says she needs to talk to Naoya. Shino asks if Saki knows her, but Saki does not recognize the name Shino called Milika. She begins to call the name she knows, but Milika immediately stops her. She doesn't want to be called Milika, but Rika. Saki uses the chance to ask about her crush on Naoya, but Milika denies it. Saki asks her to stop denying it, but Naoya comes out and asks what's up. Milika is nervous but manages to say hi. Saki thinks she's so obvious. Milika asks Naoya to go with her somewhere to talk. Saki does not want to allow it, but Naoya says it's alright and goes with Milika. Other students stare and wonder why he's with Milika, but Milika is busy blushing because he called her Rika. On the rooftop, Naoya apologizes first for everything. She's surprised and asks what he's apologizing for. He replies that she offered to be his girlfriend, but he, a two-timing jerk, turned her down. He takes off his clothes and asks her to take embarrassing pictures of him and spread them on the internet as revenge for humiliating her. Milika is speechless but secretly admires how thoughtful and cool he is. He says she did nothing wrong. She immediately tells him not to touch her, but she is turning red inside. Naoya tells her she's cute, her videos are so good, and she has a huge bust, but he just has two precious girlfriends. Milika is sad but thinks he has so much backbone. He offers to help her find a good boyfriend. He adds that he'll make it up to her and pleads that she stops trying to make him fall for her. She's way too attractive, so he can't fall in love with her and become a three-timer. Milika falls to the ground. He's throwing so many hints at her, confirming that he has said all he had to say. She says it's his turn to hear her out. She thanks him for not letting her dad delete her MeTube account. He says she didn't have to, but she insists that it was really important to her. She tells him her dad keeps going on about how she won't have many options if she doesn't study, but she doesn't feel like she should be doing something she doesn't want to, and she didn't have anything going for her, so she did what she could. She started making videos to have some independence. Naoya questions if she wasn't just showing off her huge boobs. She denies it but accepts that she did use it for clickbait, and she has a lot of haters, but she works hard on her ideas to make it a good channel. Her MeTube is finally yielding results. She has put so much into it and it's been really important to her, but he protected it even though there was nothing in it for him. She says she really appreciated it. Naoya understands her and says he's glad he managed to save it. Milika is flustered and runs away. He tries to stop her. He isn't done talking. Milika tries to catch her breath at the stairs. She finally accepts that she's in love with Naoya. Saki witnesses it as she has been standing at the top of the stairs the whole time. She cusses at Milika. Meanwhile, Minace worries if Naoya is alright. Milika walks into Naoya's class. Saki isn't happy to see her and asks what she wants from Naoya. Milika questions if she needs to have a reason to come. The other classmates are surprised and one of them asks what Naoya's relationship with Milika is. Naoya hesitates, and Milika replies saying they're in a serious relationship, but quickly adds that it's a joke. Saki is bothered that Milika's breasts are pressing against Naoya. She grabs them and asks Milika to stop shoving her nasty breasts at Naoya. Milika steps away to get out of her grip, and Saki uses that opportunity to get between them and warn Milika to stay away from Naoya, calling her a slut. Milika is offended and says it's none of Saki's business. Saki claims to know what Milika is trying to do, recalling her confession at the stairs. She adds that there's no room between her and Naoya for Milika. Milika goes closer to her and whispers that he's already two-timing Saki with Minace. Saki gets furious. She warns Naoya to be careful and says he needs to stay by her side while in school. Milika thinks she still has plenty of opportunities, so Saki instructs Naoya to never leave her, even for a second. Naoya realizes that Saki must be feeling lonely because she's worried about him three-timing her. He immediately hugs her and apologizes, promising to stick by her side. Saki says that's not what she meant. He asks if she did not like it, and she looks at Milika's expression, feeling satisfied, and asks why she wouldn't. Milika is embarrassed and runs out of the classroom, promising to be back. The teacher wants to start the class, but Naoya still has Saki in a tight grasp, sitting on his lap. Naoya tells the teacher not to mind them and that Saki is just feeling a little lonely. Saki is embarrassed because the whole class is staring at them. The teacher starts the class. Saki asks if they'll really go through class like that. Naoya says she doesn't need to be modest, and she argues that's not really the point. Saki feels happy though. It's been a while since they've been alone together. She did feel lonely because she was worried about Milika, but she's still embarrassed. Naoya's eraser falls, and he bends to pick it up. His other hand raises and touches Saki's breast. She's flustered and he immediately apologizes. Minace is jealous. After the class, Naoya and Saki are still sticking together. Saki informs Naoya that the next class is PE. He asks if they should get changed together. Saki blushes and immediately refuses the idea. Milika walks in just at that moment and says it's time to hand Naoya over. She's borrowing him. Saki grabs her gym wear and drags Naoya with her as she leaves the class. They break into a run in the hallway, with Milika following behind. Minace is concerned about them and takes out her phone to send a message. Saki and Naya run into the broadcasting room and lock Milika out. Naya offers to watch over Saki, but she commands him to close his eyes. Milika gets a message which makes her panic. While starting to change, Saki thinks that though she hates to admit it, Milika is cute. If she falls for Naya and tries to get with him, she might take him. Naya suggests that he should wait outside. Saki panics him and holds him back, asking him not to go. Naya tells her that he can see her undies. Saki is embarrassed and immediately turns away. He agrees to stay put. Saki remembers that she used to take baths with him when they were little. She tells herself that being in her underwear in a confined space is no big deal. She gets a text from Minace informing her that she sent an anonymous DM to Milika on Twitter saying she should come to the roof if she doesn't want people to know she's a student at their school, so Saki should be safe now. Saki immediately goes out to check and truly, Milika is gone. She is grateful to Minace. Meanwhile, Milika gets to the roof but sees no one there. Saki is done changing and goes out to meet Naya. He tells her that he thinks she's cuter than ever today. Saki is happy. Minace thinks to herself that she has to take care of Milika. At home, Saki is discussing with Minace and wonders who embarrasses his girlfriend like that in front of people, but Minace thinks it's amazing. She says she wishes she could be embraced so passionately by someone she loves. Saki says Minace is damn pure and endearing. Minace adds that it's quite embarrassing in front of other people though. Naya arrives and asks what they're talking about. Saki replies that they were talking about how Minace wants to be embraced by him. Naya asks Minace if he should embrace her, but she refuses, saying she wouldn't want to put Saki in such a position. Saki is surprised. Minace asks if she wouldn't hate it if Naya hugged anyone other than her, but Saki denies it, saying she's not that petty. She says Minace has already decided to be in the relationship with them, so she better not hold back like that. She thinks winning against a rival who holds back for her sake wouldn't make her happy. Saki attempts to leave so they can have some privacy, but Naya stops her. He thinks he'll make her anxious, doing it when she's not looking, so it's better she stays to watch him embrace Minace. He asks if it's okay with Minace and she agrees. Saki then watches them through the half-open door. Naya hugs Minace a little, then turns to ask if Saki is alright. Saki is annoyed and says he should quit asking her every time. He hugs Minace once more, then asks how it was. She says she's embarrassed but really happy. They stare and call each other's names, then hug again. Minace asks him to hold her tighter and he does. Saki is anxious. She thinks Minace's curvy body is bewitching her. Naya. She claims she can't stand being made to watch, but she can't look away, and she's feeling kinda excited. She panics, wondering if she's messed up and has the NTR fetish she's heard about, but she refuses to believe it. There's no way she has such a twisted kink. She thinks she's just getting worked up because she doesn't see a guy and a girl hugging very often, and that she's not feeling things because Minace might take Naya away from her. Minace falls to the ground, sitting. Naya is concerned if she's alright. She tells him that was a little too much for her heart. Saki sees their position and thinks she's about to go NTR'd for real. Naya asks Minace if she really is alright, and she confirms that she is. Saki panics. She overthinks about what could happen if she doesn't stop them. She can't stand the thoughts anymore and goes into the room. She's furious and gives Naya an uppercut, throwing him off Minace. She then calls Minace a pervert. On the way home from school the next day, Milika tags along with Naya and Saki. She attempts to make a conversation with Saki and tries to include Naya. Saki thinks her offensive is getting more aggressive by the day. Milika asks Naya about his hobbies. He says he has nothing in particular and he's always studying whenever he has time. She then offers to get him to help her study sometime. Saki informs her that Naya's grades aren't that good, considering how much he studies. He adds that he's never been in the top 5 in class. Milika is so impressed that he still works so hard. She thinks it's so badass. When they get to the house, Saki blocks Milika from entering. She asks Naya to get inside, then goes in after him and shuts the door against Milika, who is furious. They meet Minace, who walks home separately. She asks Naya what's wrong. Naya says it's something he noticed, rather, something he's been thinking about lately. He says he knows there's no way and he's probably just self-absorbed, but asks if they think Milika might be attracted to him. Both girls panic. Saki asks for a timeout and drags Minace to the corner to talk. They agree that if Naya finds out about Milika's feelings, it'll increase the chances of him 3-timing them, so they have to fool him to the best of their abilities. They return and Saki tells Naya that she'll be brutally honest. She says he's full of himself and maybe got the wrong idea because Minace confessed to him. She continues that he's average, is not particularly good looking and has no talent. She says he's just straight-laced and shouldn't think he can be popular. Naya agrees with her. She adds that what happened with her and Minace was just a fluke. They just happened to like him by luck, and he should know his place. Naya then asks about the reason Milika always blushes when she's around him. Saki replies that she's in heat. She says Milika cannot control her desires and he's not special to her because she will do anyone since she's being controlled by her desires. Naya is in disbelief, but she convinces him further, saying that it happens to girls occasionally. Naya says he never knew. Minace is surprised at how trusting he is. He believes it, saying it was kind of weird that she'd blush no matter what he'd say. Saki confirms that that he's right but thinks that he's actually just gullible. He suddenly realizes and asks if it happens to them too. Saki says it depends on how big your breasts are, so she's in the clear. Naoya turns to Minace in concern. He asks her to let him know if she's ever in heat and shouldn't deal with it herself. He adds that judging from how Milika's acting, it seems really rough and it's probably brutal for Minace too. He says he doesn't know what he can do for her, but they can overcome it together. She's in a spot and looks at Saki. Saki winks at her to play along, so she does. She says she's counting on him when it does happen. Naoya returns to talking about Milika. He says it makes sense because there's no way she would have been attracted to a guy who has 2 girlfriends, and that he also thought about what he would do if she really did like him. The girls fake laughing along with him. The next day in school, Milika comes to Naoya's class again. She admires how hardworking he is. Saki is worried but believes it should be alright since she already convinced Naoya yesterday. Milika brings up the idea again of him helping her study and asks if he has time after school. Naoya stands, saying he needs to apologize to her. She asks what for. Saki and Minace panic, but he just apologizes for thinking she might have a crush on him. Milika is speechless. Saki and Minace are worried that she might confess, but as she looks around, students are staring. She's embarrassed and drags Naoya out of the classroom. Milika drags Naoya to the roof. Saki follows them out to the roof while Minace watches from the door. Milika's mind goes wild, wondering how Naoya found out. Milika asks how he knows. He replies that her face is always red when she's around him, and she's been acting strangely, leading him to mistakenly believe that she might like him. She is devastated, but then suddenly realizes something and asks why he used the word mistakenly. He explains that Saki told him it's something that happens to girls sometimes, that she's just in heat. Milika is angry that he could be so foolish as to believe such nonsense, but Saki insists that Milika is embarrassed about it and lying. Milika tries to defend herself, but Naoya presses her to explain why her face is red. She contemplates confessing to him but hesitates when he remarks that there's no way she would fall for a 2-timing crappy guy. It would be pretty messed up, and she doesn't seem like that kind of person. Milika insists that she's not messed up and that she's not in heat either. She tries to make an excuse, claiming she has a bit of a cold, but Naoya points out that she appears to be fine for someone who is sick. Saki whispers to him that it's embarrassing to admit being in heat, and that he should try to understand. Realizing this, he agrees with Milika about her having a cold. Still, Milika senses that something isn't quite right. Naoya offers to help her find a boyfriend to repay her for the tent, but she doesn't want him to do that. He adds that she can find some relief with him, causing Milika to punch him as she realizes he still thinks she's in heat. She says she doesn't care anymore and then asks what he would have done if she really did like him. Naoya replies that he would have been flustered, but he would have turned her down because he wants to take good care of his 2 girlfriends and make them happy. Milika pushes them out to return to class, deciding to stay on the roof. She realizes that Naoya isn't interested in her as a potential girlfriend, which angers her. Gaining confidence, she reminds herself that she's the Milika and has succeeded with her MeTube channel, so there's no reason she can't make Naoya fall for her. She vows to use any means necessary and try as many times as it takes. Saki and Minace are feeling happy, thinking that the Milika issue has come to an end. Suddenly, Milika bursts into the classroom and loudly confesses her feelings for Naoya, surprising everyone. Naoya, taken aback, asks if he heard her correctly and has her repeat it. Shouting in disbelief, he questions what she really means. Unable to handle the situation any longer, Milika pulls him out of the class again. Saki and Minace follow them, while Shino looks on, concerned for her friend. They go to the storage room, where Saki confronts Milika. Milika responds by saying that it's her way of fighting and that she's not afraid of being embarrassed or confessing her feelings. She tells Naoya that she won't ask him out immediately. Instead, she'll keep flirting with him until he falls for her. Naoya then asks Milika why she likes him. She didn't expect this question and stutters a bit before saying that she found him attractive when he saved her from her dad. Naoya points out that she's being too easy, as anyone would have helped her in that situation, so she shouldn't fall in love just because of it. Milika counters by mentioning that he also tried to pay 1 million yen for Saki and Minace. Naoya replies that anyone would have done that too. Milika disagrees, saying he's weird for thinking that way. Naoya retorts that she is even weirder for liking someone who's dating 2 girls. Milika agrees, asserting that no matter what he says, it's a fact that she likes him. Milika feels disappointed in herself for developing feelings for him. He tells her again that he's busy making sure Saki and Minace are happy, and asks her to stop. In frustration, Milika hits him. She insists it's her own business if she likes him. He offers to find her a boyfriend again, but she confesses that her mind is now consumed with thoughts of him. She thinks about him all day, at home, at school, and while recording videos. She constantly wonders what he's doing and what he's thinking. The idea of him having fun with Saki and Minace makes her feel angry and lonely. In a moment of impulsiveness, she grabs Naoya and kisses him. Naoya is too stunned to respond. Minace is surprised, and Saki is furious. Milika says that now Naoya will have a hard time not thinking about her too. She also reveals that it was her first kiss and makes it clear that she isn't interested in a relationship with all 3 of them. If he ever decides to date her, he'd better break up with the others because she wants him all to herself. Then, she walked away. Meanwhile, Shino, who had been eavesdropping, now knows that Saki is being two-time. Back at home, Milika has a meltdown about not only her confession but also the kiss with Naya. Minace, Naya, and Saki sit quietly on the hill, watching the sunset. Saki asks Naya how it felt to be kissed by another girl in front of his girlfriends. She adds that it makes her really sad. Naya responds that he felt uneasy. Saki continues, expressing her frustration that she is supposed to be his girlfriend, yet he wants to date another girl at the same time. Now, another girl has taken his first kiss. She questions whether she has done something to deserve this, wondering if it's because she has small breasts. Minace takes over. She says that Saki told her she hadn't kissed him yet, so she never thought of doing it behind her back or anything, but she fantasized about being his first, and it was just a fleeting dream. Naya finally speaks. He says he's really flustered about the situation, but asks if Saki wants to kiss. She hit him and says of course she does. He asks Minace and she says she doesn't want to at that time. She's shocked that Milika kissed him first, but she doesn't want to kiss to make up for it. Saki agrees with her. Naya tries to defend his situation, so Saki asks if he was turned on when Milika kissed him. Naya replies that he was too surprised to feel anything. Saki then comments that a kiss without the right mood or emotion is worthless, and Minace agrees. Saki insists that they need to have a memorable kiss, especially since she's competing against Milika. She emphasizes that their first kiss is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. She reminds Naya that he has liked her since elementary school and has years of pent-up feelings. It's in that moment of realization, when he truly loves her and thinks she's cute, that they should kiss when they are both genuinely excited. She assures him that she will make it unforgettable. Minace adds that for her, the kiss should happen when he really desires her. Once they reach that point, they can kiss and explore even more together. Saki tells her that's enough. Naya bows to the ground and apologizes, explaining that he didn't understand what a kiss means to either of the girls. He shares that he has finally figured out one thing he can do for them. Despite being injured and bleeding, he reassures them that it doesn't bother him, but they remain concerned. Saki offers him a kerchief to apply pressure to his wound. Naya tells them that this isn't just about dealing with Milika, rather, he needs to cherish and grow closer to them. It's something he has always wanted. He expresses his desire to be so close to them that, if Milika were to see them together, she would want to give up. More than anything, he wishes to become that person. Then he declares that he loves them both. The girls are taken aback and feel awkward. Naya continues that they have to gain experience to get closer, and to learn how to react to things and how they feel about all kinds of situations. He suggests that they should go on a date. The girls agree with the idea. Saki proposes visiting a hot spring, while Minace mentions she wouldn't mind going somewhere nearby. Naya assures them that he'll figure out the details. After school, Saki is excited to go shopping with Naya and Minace. Before they can leave, Shino asks Naya to talk, but Saki interrupts and takes Naya away. Saki talks non-stop about the things she needs to buy for the trip and mentions that things have been tough lately, referring to Milika kissing Naya. Naya apologizes, and Saki expresses her disgust for kissing. She then tells Minace that the trip should be casual. Minace understands and agrees. As they leave, Milika, who is nearby, wonders what they're up to. While shopping, Minace thinks that the trip might be a good opportunity to get closer to Naya, despite Saki's intention for it to be casual. She is determined not to lose her relationship and hopes that she might get to kiss Naya on the trip if everything works out. She spots some fresh breath candy and decides that it would be helpful if she needs to freshen her breath. Just as she reaches for it, Saki, at the same time, grabs another one next to it. Busted, they both realize that they had the same thing in mind. Minace tries to explain herself, but Saki reminds her that she is Naya's girlfriend as well and nervously tries to brush it off. Saki gives up and reveals her true intentions. She says she was trying to get ahead and thought Minace would stay put if she asked her to. She also reveals that she wanted to kiss Naya first to feel superior to Minace and apologizes. Minace apologizes as well, saying that Saki has to kiss Naya first, but Saki tells her it won't count, as Milika already did, so it's okay even if Minace gets ahead of her. Minace refuses and declares her support for Saki, saying she won't be able to face Saki if she kissed Naya first. Minace takes Saki shopping for clothes for their trip. She chooses a simple shirt for herself, explaining that she's intentionally picking plain clothes to make Saki stand out. Saki disagrees, but Minace insists and decides to help choose for Saki as well. After Minace picks out an outfit for Saki, Saki thinks it's tacky and questions Minace's fashion sense. When Naya meets up with them, his reaction confirms Saki's feelings. As they head back, Saki admits that they've been through a lot and should make the best out of the trip. Milika, who has been spying on them, peeks out, and Naya senses that he's being watched, so he stops to check, unbeknownst to Saki and Minace. Minace reassures Saki that she will have her back on the trip, and Saki finally agrees after confirming confirming that Menes means it. Saki suggests that they should walk together on the trip. They finally notice Naya is not with them and call out to him to join them. They all set their priorities. Saki aims to get closer to Naya, Menes plans to support Saki, and Naya promises to do everything he can for both of them. Milika figures out their plan and decides to go with them. At home, while Saki is packing, she receives a call from Shino. Shino asks about the trip, and Saki reveals her plans and the trip location. Shino ends the call, determined to find out if Naya is two-timing her friend, Saki. The next day, Naya meets Saki and Menes, who are waiting outside. Naya compliments them both, leaving them stunned. On the train, Naya expresses disbelief about going to the hot spring with both of them and says he's happy. He also thanks them for continuing the relationship even after he let his guard down and got kissed by Milika. Naya reveals his plans to make the vacation enjoyable for both of them, to the extent that Milika would give up. This declaration draws the attention of the other passengers on the train. When Saki and Menes react with surprise, he assumes it's not what they want and thinks they hate him. He declares that he would make them love him again, attracting even more attention. After they assure him that they still love him, Saki reveals her plans to stay ahead of Milika by working really hard on them. They arrive at their stop, and Naya comes up with an idea to get closer to both of them. Since they don't need to worry about being seen, he grabs both Saki and Menes' hands, surprising both the girls and the passersby. He admits that he was so anxious about getting caught that he couldn't hold their hands earlier, and he believes that physical touch is also a form of communication. Saki is concerned about how people will react, but Naya tells her not to worry because what happens there stays there. He also says they should do everything so they won't have any regrets. After getting confirmation from Menes that she's okay with it, they move on to their next destination. Naya continues to hold their hands on the next train, and when they get off, they attract people's attention. He then asks how they feel, and Menes says he's happy, but Saki tells him that she feels embarrassed, and he tells them that holding their hands is his way of flirting. Naya comforts Saki on the way, saying that other people are flirting as well. They see a couple in front of them discussing what they'll do when they get to their hotel, and Naya recalls Saki's words on the train. He asks if that's what she meant, and she denies it, claiming that she just hoped they could kiss, which Menes confirms. Naya asks about what they'll do after the kiss, and Saki tells him she has thought about it a little, surprising both Naya and Menes. They finally arrive at the vacation inn, and Menes thinks it looks expensive. As they decide to head in, Milika jumps out from a nearby bush, surprising them. She confirms that she followed them, and just as Saki is getting angry, she hears Shino call her name. Saki asks why Shino is there, and Naya assumes that Shino is on vacation too. Shino ignores Saki and asks Menes why she is with them. Saki tries to lie, but Shino asks her if Naya is two-timing. As the anxiety builds up and they fear Shino might tell on them, Menes comes up with an idea. She grabs Milika and tells Shino that they came together and just happened to run into Naya and Saki. Milika wants to deny, but Menes blackmails her with her Metube thumbnail, and Milika immediately plays along. They flee the scene, and Naya and Saki do the same, leaving Shino. They all reach their rooms, catching their breath. Naya suggests that they should be honest with their relationship, and Saki remembers Menes. Just as Naya and Saki are getting worried, Naya receives a message from Menes saying that she plans on staying with Milika to keep her in check and also avoid Shino. She ends by urging Naya and Saki to enjoy their trip, but Naya doesn't want that and is bent on spending the vacation with both girlfriends. Menes is about to join Milika for a hot bath when Milika asks who Shino is, and Menes tells her. Milika thinks of a way to see Naya as she hasn't given up. Just then, Naya pops up above the fence, startling both girls. He is there to take Menes and reveals that he walked across the roof to avoid being seen by Shino. After a series of arguments, with Naya urging Nagisa to follow him and she refusing because of the risk of being seen by Shino, Nagisa remembers the promise she made to Saki and goes back into her room, locking Naya out. Milika, who is still outside, takes the opportunity and pulls Naya into the hot bath, telling him she's going to seduce him. Shino's suspicion has grown since her encounter with Naya, Milika, Menes, and Saki. She now believes that Saki is being cheated on and is determined to help her friend. Milika is holding Naya hostage and refuses his requests to leave and go after Menes. Naya asks Milika what her plans are, and she tells him that she wants to make him obsessed with her. Naya is scared, thinking that Milika wants to show him her breasts and make him touch them, but Milika tells him that it's for when they start dating, and doing something like that would be embarrassing. As they continue to talk, Milika recalls the kiss and asks Naya if it made him obsessed and got him to think about her, but he says it only surprised him, which upsets Milika. As she sulks over how her first kiss only amounted to a surprise for him, Naya steps out of the bath, attempting to go find Menes, but Milika stops him. She is serious this time and asks to talk with him. She tells him that she wants him to get to know her because that's the only way he'll be interested in her, and that she wants to know him too. Milika promises not to do anything weird. Naya apologizes, saying he still has to go after Menes, but Milika stops him again and asks for a little time, saying she'll do whatever he asks next time. Naya agrees and grants her 5 minutes. Milika times the conversation using her phone and gets comfortable. She begins by introducing herself, telling him her name and that she's a Meduber, and he tells her his name too. She tells him her favorite thing and asks about his, and Noya says it's banana, which Milika finds funny. They talk about their likes and dislikes, and the conversation goes on. Milika tells him about her dream of excelling as a Meduber and asks Noya what his dream is. Noya is frank and reveals his dream is to make both Saki and Nagisa happy, and Milika doesn't feel quite good about this but compliments his honesty. Their conversation continues for a while, with the timer still counting. Milika says she spends all her time on her Medub videos and asks what Noya does in his spare time. Noya replies that he watches Medub as well, particularly her videos. He admits the videos are fun to watch, and Milika says she thought he had stopped watching them after what happened between them. She feels happy and thanks him. Just then, the timer goes off and she tells him he's free to go. As Noya makes to leave, Milika's towel falls, and Noya apologizes and quickly jumps over the fence as Milika gets into the bath to hide herself. As Noya runs back on the roof, still aiming to get to Minace, he slips off and falls into another private bath. He is surprised to see Shino, who is planning to use the bath. She's also surprised to see him, and her surprise soon turns to anger as she calls him a pervert for barging into the women's baths. Noya tries to explain, but Shino sees this as a good opportunity and questions him about his relationship with Saki and if he's two-timing her. Back in the hotel, Saki wonders why Noya is not back and also worries about Minace. She then happens to come across Minace and asks her about Noya. Still conscious about not letting Shino see them together, they decide to find a more private place to talk. Noya is still being interrogated by Shino. He remembers his promise to Saki about not letting anyone know about their relationship with Minace, so he tries to evade her questions by asking her why she cares so much. Shino replies that Saki is her friend and questions if he wouldn't do the same for his friend. Noya agrees but also tells her that it's a matter of personal freedom. She agrees but tells him that it doesn't apply to Saki because she's a pushover and would go along with being two-timed if she is begged, so Shino feels the need to intervene. Noya, realizing she's right, agrees with her, and Shino states a couple of downsides to two-timing as Noya tries to argue. The conversation finally ties down to whether or not Noya is two-timing Saki, and Noya tries to escape by climbing over the fence. Shino grabs Noya by his trousers to stop him and threatens to raise an alarm if he doesn't tell her the truth. Noya tries to climb over the fence, and Shino keeps on pulling him back and asking more questions. Noya tells Shino that her towel is coming loose, but she tells him that she doesn't care anymore. Shino remembers Milika and asks if Noya is three-timing, and he denies. And Noya's hands finally slip off the fence, and they both fall. Just then, Saki and Minace walk in. They are trying to avoid suspicion from Shino but didn't know they'd find her here. Saki and Minace are surprised to see Shino and Noya in a suspicious position, with Shino's towel off and Noya's pants down. Saki and Minace read the obvious meaning and freak out. Shino attempts to explain, but Noya drags her down, saying she's exposing herself. Saki bursts out in tears, saying Noya kissed Milika and now he's with her best friend. Shino is upset to hear that, and Noya tries to explain. Everyone is surprised when Minace suddenly starts taking pictures of Shino and Noya. Minace tells Shino that she isn't in a relationship with Noya and Saki and asks Shino to stop questioning them. Shino is angry and asks if Minace is threatening her. She realizes she's naked, and Noya apologizes for looking. Shino is embarrassed and finally runs off. Saki is relieved to know what she assumed of Noya, and Shino wasn't true but hits him for being in the women's bath with his trousers down. Minace is relieved that Shino won't bother them again. She tells them that she'll be heading back to Milika's room because their relationship will get complicated if she's in the same room as them. Noya and Saki try to persuade her, but she says it's fine, and Noya says she's acting weird, recalling that she avoided him earlier. Saki assumes it's because of the promise Minace made to her to support her, but Minace disagrees and says that she's acting in her own favor. She believes she came between Saki and Noya and knows Saki won't appreciate it if she keeps making moves on Noya. Minace expresses that she wants her relationship with Noya to last and is trying to prevent people from figuring out that Saki is being two-timed. She asks them not to worry about her because it's her decision. Noya tries to convince Minace otherwise and throws away his pants because they were limiting his movement. Saki scolds him to put his pants back on and also not to grab a girl's shoulder with his pants down. As they argue, two girls barge in and are surprised to see Noya in the women's bath. After punching Noya and throwing his pants to him, the girls run out apologizing for their intrusion. Minace is about to leave as well, but Saki stops her and tells her that she's not okay with Minace's decision to leave and that Minace is holding back too much. Minace decides to confide in Saki, telling her not to tell Noya about it. They both step into the bath, and Minace begins. She reveals that she always has a way of screwing things up. She explains that she wasn't good at anything and had to study twice as much as others to get an average grade. Everything she does takes much more effort than everyone else. She also tells Saki that she has tried a lot of things to find something she's good at and spent a lot of time on them, but she never got very good, and she always felt sad about herself until the summer exams when she met Noya. Minace tells Saki about how she met the love of her life, Noya. It was during the summer entrance exams when she first saw Noya. He told Saki that if they both got into high school, she should go out with him because he liked her and they could become a beautiful couple. Saki was not impressed and responded by giving him an uppercut, pushing him away. She explained that she was focused on the exams, had already forgotten some English words, and was worried she might fail because of his confession. Noya apologized and said he would take responsibility, adding that they would get married. This further angered Saki, who was trying to escape from him. Minace thought Noya didn't know when to give up. If anything, he was raising the stakes even higher. Then, Minace overheard Shino talking about Noya. Apparently, he had been confessing to Saki every month since elementary school. Minace couldn't believe that he hadn't given up despite being rejected each time. She thought he was crazy. Noya continued to bother Saki, so she punched him in the gut, surprising everyone. Minace was so impressed by his resilience and tenacity. She wondered about it even in the exam hall. She said she would have given up if she were him. The exam was finally over and Saki was relieved but thought she'd blow it. Noya told her it was really attractive the way she worked so hard. Minace memorized his name and thought about him on her way home. She was curious about what he was like and wanted to talk to him. She wished she could live like Noya. The list was out. Minace got in, but she was curious if Naya got in too. She wondered if she could learn more about him if they got into the same class. Just then, she heard Saki exclaim that she got it. She turned to look but saw Noya first. He hugged Saki and congratulated her. He started to say something to her but immediately noticed Minace. Minace ran away. She stopped running when she was safely out of there. She realized she'd been thinking about Noya all the time. She wondered what to do since Noya's already in love with someone else, and from the way they were acting, they might have already been dating, but she had never felt like that before, and if she were Noya, she would never give up. Minace decided to try her best so that he'd like her. She resolved to not give up no matter how hopeless it got. She started learning how to cook. After all, they say the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but she cut her finger in the process. Then she started jogging to get back in shape after all that studying for the exam. As she exercised, she encouraged herself that she can't be in embarrassing shape when she confesses to Noya, but she still got hurt in the process. Minace also had to work hard to buy good ingredients, but her clumsiness still got in her way. She realized it wasn't going to be so easy, but it was also that she could be loved by someone she loved, so she'd keep going. She thinks she has changed a lot thanks to Noya, and she's happy to know that she can work so hard. Noya saved her, and her greatest wish is to continue the relationship with him. She adds that she's not holding back by being on her own. She then decides to leave before Saki can say anything. Noya, who was on the other side of the bath, heard it all. After changing, Saki tries to bring up the topic again, but Minace immediately pleads with her not to tell Noya, that it'd be so embarrassing. As she steps out of the changing room, Noya is there. He tells her that just because she couldn't get anything right, couldn't work hard at anything, and he ended up saving her, she shouldn't have to be out on her own, and that she's definitely holding back. Minace is horrified that he heard it all and starts running away. Noya chases after her and Saki joins. Noya tries to convince her not to hold back and they should enjoy their vacation together, but Minace says Shino will be suspicious again if they're together. Milika is looking for Noya and comes across Shino, who questions her relationship with Noya. They don't get to continue as Minace, Noya, and Saki run past them and they join. Minace still refuses to stop running. She says she doesn't mind being second to Saki if she gets to continue the relationship because she loves him. Noya refuses and calls her a liar. He continues to chase her, trying to convince her not to give up on them. Minace asks what he would have done if Saki decided to break up with him when he proposed dating both of them, and he replies that he would have figured it out when it came to that. Saki, Shino, and Milika get tired and stop running, but Minace and Noya keep going. Noya soon gets tired and falls. Minace says he's too much of a nerd to keep up with her, so Noya forces himself up and resumes running towards her, causing her to continue running. They run until sunset, still arguing about being number 2 or not. Minace successfully goes further ahead of him and stops when she gets to the river. She says she wants to be first too, but not if it means she has to be apart from him, and if she loses the strength that let her work hard for the first time. Noya soon catches up. He apologizes for making her worry and that he thinks of both of them as being number 1 to him if he lets her hold back just so that the 3 of them can continue their relationship. He doesn't think he can keep the promise he made in the beginning about making sure they'll both be glad they dated him. Minace tries to run again, but he holds her back. He says he can't leave her, but Minace expresses her fear of Saki getting upset that she's trying to be number 1 to him. She says she can't stand being away from him, and he promises not to let that happen. He recounts how strong she was and tried to walk away after she found out he had a girlfriend. He says he thought about how Saki might dump him or how wrong it would be, just for a moment, but he thought that if he gave up on her, he would regret it. So he grabbed her hand without thinking. Some regrettable things came from him grabbing her hand. but there wouldn't have been any regret greater than if he'd given in to worry and given up on her. He reassures her that he won't leave her to be alone no matter what. Menes asks what he'd do if she keeps pushing, and Saki gets tired of his two-timing. He answers that he'll hear out what she doesn't like and work to solve it. Saki, Shino, and Milika finally find. Shino questions what exactly their relationship is. Menes decides to trust Naoya. She apologizes to Saki and announces herself as Naoya's girlfriend too. Shino asks Saki if it's true. She confirms to Shino that Naoya is two-timing them, then pulls Menes, and three of them run away. Menes says she doesn't know if they made the right choice or if it's going to work out, but if she can be with Naoya, it's alright. When get home from the hot spring trip, Shino invites them to her house to explain the two-timing situation to her. She didn't want someone to overhear them, especially for Saki's sake. She says she's disappointed in Naoya. He and Saki have been close since middle school, and yeah, he's kind of off up close, but she thought he was hardworking and studious. She asks him to explain what he's doing two-timing. Menes wants to explain, but Naoya stops her. He says it's because he met Menes 2 months ago and fell in love with her. He had no choice but to date both of them. Shino disagrees. She says Saki should have stopped him the moment she found out. Naoya says he's not going to go behind Saki's back. He tells her that he went to ask Saki if he could two-time her. Shino says it's crazy and is disappointed at Saki for accepting it. They then decide to go home, but not until Shino confirms that he can make both girls happy. Naoya says he plans to meet Saki's mom and tell her about the relationship. The girls are surprised. Shino says he's messed up. Naoya also wants Shino to accept them because she's Saki's precious friend. Saki gets the phone from him and cancels the message, promising to give him an earful at home. When they leave, Shino thinks about Naoya. She thought he'd just become a lousy person, but he is just his usual self, and that's why he just can't be two-timing. She says he can't fall in love with someone besides Saki, never. She tells herself that he's her friend's boyfriend. How is she supposed to give up on him now? She decides to make them stop so she can make herself give up.